Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be going over how to become a commercial broker. So, if you guys are interested in becoming a commercial broker, or if you guys are a mortgage loan officer that just specializes in residential and you guys want to know more about the commercial space, I have Rachel here. She's one of the top commercial brokers in the country. She's been doing this for how many years, Rachel?
Over 15 years.
Over 15 years, and she's done millions and millions of dollars in production. So I wanted to have her here to share with you guys what it takes, what you need to become a commercial broker. Now, before we get into that, Rachel, do you want to go over the differences between a residential loan officer and a commercial broker for anyone? Because a lot of these people are brand new. Maybe they just heard about the commercial space or even the loan officer space yesterday. So, how would you explain the two to someone that's like brand new?
Of course. And thank you so much for having me, Enrique. Happy to be here and share whatever knowledge I can help you guys with. So, the best way to put it is residential is for a house, commercial is for a building, right? Whether
Mhm.
that's a retail shopping center, whether it's multifamily, whether it's a restaurant purchase, gas station purchase, anything that is commercial real estate is going to go on the commercial side. Anything that's residential is going to be a house or it's going to be units that are between 1 to 4. So that's a difference between residential and commercial. So think of it as residential, you're buying a home. Think of it as commercial, it's an investment.
So that's why I wanted to have Rachel here for you guys because they're two different skills, handling commercial deals and handling residential deals. I have a few questions that I'm going to be going over with Rachel. A lot of these questions are questions that you probably have as a new loan officer or someone that's interested in the space because I'm going into the commercial space in the next few weeks or in the next few months. That's my plan. And these are questions that I have because I don't know anything about the space. So the first question is, what were you doing before commercial lending, and how were you introduced into the business in the first place? Because a lot of us, including myself, I didn't even know loan officers existed in the residential space. So how did you kind of run into the business, and what were you doing before?
So I was a business owner. I had a women's clothing boutique. I was very young at the time, and back then, I didn't really know how to run a business. I just knew how to sell clothes, and I was just always looking fashionably fabulous. And so I decided that it was
That's
too
a good
much for
reason.
me.
Uh-huh.
I decided that it was too much for me. And so I decided I actually got bought out. I sold it. I
Oh,
sold
wow.
the women's clothing boutique. And shortly after, I took a few years off and I figured, what do I want to do with my life? And I, as a business owner, faced a lot of challenges, such as the importance of having a business account, a
Yeah.
business credit card, payroll, all of that stuff, right? So I wanted to understand it and fully, really, get the full education so then I can educate business owners, right,
That's right.
on how to do, business, right? Besides
Mhm.
the sales piece. So I got into banking and I did banking for many years. I worked my way up the corporate ladder in the commercial lending space. And so
Yeah.
that's basically what I did. I worked with business owners, developers, investors looking to buy, commercial, looking to buy, a building for their property. Excuse me, after leasing, they wanted to, buy, right? So
Yeah.
I learned very well how to educate them, and I just fell in love with commercial
Wow.
financing. And after working my way up the corporate ladder, I worked with a lot of big names, and that's when I made the decision to start my own commercial brokerage. And
Mhm.
so I successfully ran that for quite some time, which I still have. And I constantly get residential lenders, realtors, CPAs, all everybody that's within the industry asking me, how do I do commercial? How do I get into
Wow.
commercial? How do I tap into it? So I created a full educational program to teach people step by step on how to do commercial. And the beauty of it is that there's no commission splits. It's literally all resources, education, and knowledge that you get through our platform, CRE Capital Finders. And honestly, I absolutely love it that now I get to teach others. And this is why I'm super happy to be here, because not many people understand, number one, the importance or the
Right.
difference of residential and commercial. And so a lot of residential, they think that they can simply wing it just because they know finance, or just because they've done residential loans. They think that they can tap into commercial by just simply winging it. And they end up putting the client in danger. They end up putting, the deal in danger, because so many things can happen within that time if you don't know what you're doing. And if you don't know, if you don't have the proper lenders, the tools and the resources and the knowledge.
We are going to have, or we do have a special offer. So I'll have that link down below on her coaching program, because experience is one of the most important things, the most valuable things, especially when you're brand new. So one thing that I love that you mentioned was, you have that coaching platform because it's completely different than being your traditional, residential loan officer. If you want to be successful in it, and if you want to do it on the long term, you need to be able to do it well. And in order to do it well, you need to know what you're doing. And in order to know what you're doing, you need the knowledge, the experience, the coaching. And that's why I have the channel as well myself, because I understand how much education, knowledge it takes just to get up to par and be able to do one transaction. Backtracking to when you were at the in the corporate space, would you say that played a big role in helping you have that understanding of like the terminology, the connections? What would you say you picked up that you really appreciated, or that was really helpful in terms of corporate? Because for some people, maybe that's a good route for them.
Again, it just depends what you're looking to do, right? It did help me. It definitely did. It shaped me for sure. There was a lot there was a lot of trial and error that I went through. I mean, I moved my way up the corporate ladder. I was with, JP Morgan's middle market commercial
Wow.
space. So my clients were anywhere from 50 million to 500 million in annual
Wow.
sales. And so having that type of client was definitely different compared to the type, to your mom and pop shops, right? So
Yeah.
it's a matter of learning how to have those conversations. And one thing that I did learn is that when you work as a direct lender, or for example at a bank, you're only having one solution for your client. As a
Hmm.
broker, you have many different solutions. So this is what I like to teach in my educational program. We can teach you anywhere from hard money to bridge loans to SBA, investor, DSCR, multifamily, Freddie Fannie loans. I mean, we have all of the loan products that you can offer your client versus that one solution as a direct lender. So if I can start all over again, I would highly advise you to start as a broker, have
Yeah.
solutions for your clients, and understand and learn what products are out there for them. That way, you know how to educate them and you know how to help them, right? Because that's very, very important. And I can't emphasize this enough, getting the right tools and resources to be able to have these type of conversations, right? And so what I tell everybody is, if you're in the residential side, sometimes they tell me, but I'm still fairly new to the residential side. I just got my license. I'm like, even better, because
Yeah.
teaching a person that has been doing residential for, over a decade, to now trying to teach them commercial, it's so hard because they have to remove their residential hat and put on their commercial hat. For a residential lender that is new to the game, it's very easy to kind of mold them and teach them and train them, because they're more understanding and they're more adaptable, because they're not, fully
Yeah.
in the residential side. So I
Yeah.
always say, start off in commercial and work your way down to residential if you
Oh,
can.
wow.
Because at that point, it's like you're going to the top, you're learning everything, you're learning how to underwrite, you're learning what an ROI is, what a cap rate is, what, an environmental is. You're learning all this terminology on the commercial side that is not gonna, on the residential side, it's very black and white. It's very
Yeah.
like, oh, it's very emotional, right?
Hmm.
It's very like, yeah, that's basically what it is. It's very emotional. and it's very simple, very, easy transaction. On the commercial side, it can get a little bit more challenging, but again, if you don't have the right education and the right resources and the tools to be able to get them done.
Yeah. And I love that you mentioned that if you were to start all over again, you would still start as a broker despite all the training and the coaching you got, because now, not even for yourself, but now for the people that are watching, there's a resource, which is yourself, where they can go and get all that knowledge. They don't have to go work or climb that corporate ladder, right? And
Which is
again,
what I
links will
did.
be
All
down
the
below.
trial and error, all the failures, all the sacrifices. I mean, I was stressed. I had no life. I literally
Yeah.
had no life working a corporate job, and then from there going from W2 to then, it was just, for me, if I could change anything, I would have just gone straight into commercial loan brokering and really build my lenders, really build my knowledge, and really understand how I can help my clients.
My next question is, are there any licenses or schooling people need in order to become a commercial broker?
Yes, you can get licensed. You can get your CFL license. Technically, you don't need to really be licensed depending on the lender and the state that you're located in.
Okay.
Everyone is different, right? It just really depends where you're located. But I would suggest getting the right education, like I said, a course such as like myself, like the one that we have, where you're able to get all the information, lender match guides, how to underwrite, how to put a deal together, like where you have everything, right? It's important to have that. And of course, I mean, if you want some sort of licensing, we also help you with that as well, where to get
Perfect.
licensed, what type of licensing you need. But technically, quote unquote, you don't necessarily need to be licensed, just depends on the state and the lenders that you're brokering to.
Perfect. So if anyone has questions on that, whether or not they're, with you, they can probably reach out to you. So reach out
Yes,
to
of
her.
course. They can reach out to me through Instagram.
I'll have
My
her information
Instagram
down below as
handle,
well.
yeah, my Instagram handle is at CRE_capital. You can look me up on LinkedIn as well under Rachel Garcia, CRE Capital Finders, and then on YouTube as well, CRE Capital. So yeah, absolutely. And then I'm sure you'll put the handles as well.
Perfect. And then because I get this question a lot on my end for residential loan officers, do they need to go to college? Do they need a bachelor's? Do they need a doctor, PhD? Do they need anything like that? Do they even need high
No.
school? I don't know.
No. No, as long as you have the proper knowledge, that's really all you need. As long as you have the proper knowledge and the education, that's really all you need to be able to get to start doing commercial loans. So no. I mean,
Okay.
I have my master's. I haven't done anything with it.
Wow. Except
Yeah,
mention it,
so no,
with
not
friends and
needed.
stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Even myself, I graduated from UCSB. I haven't used it since. The most I've put it into use is like for art on my wall. That's the furthest I've gone with it.
Yeah.
Perfect. So next question is, and we've kind of gone over this earlier just throughout the video, but just to go deeper into it, is how is commercial lending different than residential lending, and can someone do both? Or would you
Yes,
recommend
you
someone
can
do
do
both?
both, absolutely. And that's what I do advise. If you're already doing residential, add commercial down to add it to your business. You're if not doubling, tripling your income by adding commercial. So, yes, you can definitely do both. The difference is that in commercial, you're working smarter, not harder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because in residential, you have to close a minimum of at least 5 loans for that to accumulate to one commercial deal. So your
Wow.
commissions are much bigger, and it can be a little bit more stressful only because it's a numbers game, but at the same time, it's very black and white. There's no emotion attached to it. It's either do the numbers make sense or not. On the residential side, it's very emotional, right? Like, no, I don't like that picket fence. No, I don't like the rate. No, I don't like that.
Yeah.
In commercial, it's either making sense or it's not. And it goes with, that's what I love about it because I'm very straightforward. It's either are we doing this or not? Do the numbers make sense or not? And there's no time that's really wasted, right? And there's less competition, so they're not shopping you for a rate. And like I said, it's less emotional. And I absolutely love it because in the commercial space, the way that I see it is I'm adding value to my clients. I'm helping them grow, whether it's their business because they're buying a second location, third location, fifth location. If it's multifamily because they're adding to their real estate portfolio. If it's a ground up construction development, same thing. I'm helping them develop their dream project. Like to me it's
Yeah,
just very I truly enjoy it because I get to watch people's dreams come true, and most
exactly.
importantly get a great return on their investment. A lot of my clients, they continue to come back to me over and over and over again. Number one, because we provide them the best terms and rates. Number two, because we're able to get creative if need be. And number three, we get it done, right? And they get to continue to grow. They get to continue to buy more and more and more real estate and continue to grow their portfolio.
I've been asked maybe like 10 or 15 times from the agents that I work with, "Hey Enrique, do you do commercial? Do you do commercial? I have a commercial deal." And in most cases I've had to say like, "Hey, I don't." Or, "Hey, I can try or maybe." But like just like anything, I mean, you can't say maybe or they're just going to go somewhere else, you know what I mean? So, it is very very beneficial if you're a residential loan officer to also be a commercial broker because you are going to be asked those questions, right? The real estate agent sees you as their money person, their loan person. So they expect you to have all those loans, whether it be commercial, hard money, private, whatever. So it is also helpful in that sense, in that your real estate agents don't have to go anywhere else. If they go to another commercial loan officer, chances are they also do residential. My opinion, doing both. That's why I want to do both because I guarantee you're going to be asked. Another thing you mentioned that I want to ask you about that wasn't part of the list of questions is the commissions. For anyone that's brand new, they may not know how the commission or how the pay works. How does it work in terms of the commercial space? And you can also go over the residential space, or I can go ahead and cover that. But what does the pay structure look like? Or how do people get paid?
For commissions, it just depends on the deal, right? As a broker, you're dealing with different products. Some you could charge more, some you can charge less. But on average, I'd say the commission is anywhere between, I want to say, start is between 20, 30K to, I mean, I don't know. It just really depends on how big the loan is because as you know, in commercial, your loan, you typically don't see anything under 1 million. So all your
That's
loans are
right.
going to be much greater, right? And so it's all just going to depend on how much you're charging. When you charge, you can charge anywhere from 1% up to 3.5, 4%, depending on the deal, right?
Wow.
Again, it just depends. I like to be conservative, so I like to stay between the 1 to 3, but also
Yeah,
my deals are a lot, they're a lot bigger. So again, it just really depends on what you're going after. I like to do the bigger deals because it is not many that I have to do, right?
yeah,
So it's just depending on what people are trying to do. Some people like to go for volume. If you go for volume, then that's great. But I like to go more for, quantity
that's right. So it would be a percentage off of the loan amount.
off of the loan amount, correct?
Okay, and then it ranges from 1 to 3, which is similar to the residential. On the residential, the way you get paid is off of the loan amount, which is different, maybe comparing it to the real estate space. Whereas in real estate, they get paid off of the purchase price. So if they're selling a home that's $1 million, they'll get paid 1, 2, 3% off of that million or 6%, whatever it is. Whereas on the lending space, commercial and residential, is we get paid off of the loan amount. So the property can be priced at 1.2 million. If the loan amount is $1 million, then it'll be a percentage off of that 1 million. Most commercial properties, if you think about it, are over $1 million. It's going to depend
Yeah.
on what state you're in and the size and stuff, but for the most part I can see that you're probably dealing with like 1, 2, 3 and up, which is pretty big loan amounts. Even if you're just doing 1%, 1% off a $3 million deal is $30,000 just in 1 month, just in one deal. what would you say, and you don't have to share if you don't want to, but what would you say is one of your largest deals or most successful months? Something big to, kind of motivate the crowd.
I mean, it just varies. I mean, 120K in 3 weeks, I
Wow.
would say is a pretty solid one. Yeah. It was one of
Wow.
my clients that I did it 2 times for him. The first one was a bridge loan to help him stabilize the property. And then once it was fully stabilized, I refinanced him back into a conventional loan after the year was over. But yeah, after that year was over, I was able to get him, pretty solid terms, and we were able to close it out within 3 weeks. So yeah, I
Wow.
mean, it
And
just depends. Yeah,
and what kind of property was that? Are we talking like
it was an industrial building.
multi-units, industrial? Okay. Wow. That's
Yeah.
pretty amazing. So there you guys go. That's how much, and that's just off of one deal. Because on the residential, you would have to do maybe like I probably can't even do the math. You'd probably have to do like 30 deals or something, right? 30 deals to get 120,000, maybe 20 deals.
I have
Into the
never in my life touched residential, so I have no idea.
Look, let me do the math. Let's do the math
But
on
that's
that.
why I
So
said, so easy math.
go
You
for it.
need at least 5 deals to close for it
Yeah.
to accumulate to one commercial. Very
Yeah,
simple math. So my whole method is work smarter, not harder.
exactly. So five, and we'll just, we'll get for that deal at least, it would be 24 residential deals to add up to that one commercial deal that you did. So that's pretty amazing, you guys. So imagine doing one for, 100,000 on the commercial space, and then you do another one residential for 20,000, which you can easily do. I've done my best month so far in residential has been about 40,000 in commission. So imagine 40,000 and 120,000. So it's still great stuff. What are the pros and cons of being a commercial broker? Now we've gone over some pros, so you don't have to like repeat yourself. What would you say are some cons or things that people may struggle with, whether they're new, young, man, woman, anything you want to share
Getting
that you
their
kind of like?
clients, I think, having the conversations, getting it out of their comfort zone, and really having those conversations and building that trust with your client. That's why I always say, if you want to start, if you're already doing residential, start with your current client base. Ask them if they own a business. Ask them if they're looking for an investment property, but start there with somebody that you already built that relationship, because it's harder for you guys to go outside of that and to start, prospecting, door knocking, doing all of that. And you still don't have that confidence or that connection. So you get stuck, you get nervous, you get overwhelmed because you're dealing with people that are, I mean, they're educated, right? They're
Yeah, I mean they
business
have to,
people.
yeah.
They have to be, right. They're business people. So the conversations are so much different. So it's about building that confidence and really, again, having that knowledge. A lot of people, they get overwhelmed and they overanalyze everything, and they just get in their head, and or sometimes they even think that they could do it themselves. Like I said, they try to wing it and they just end up messing the whole deal up. So because of that, they think of commercial and they think, "Oh my God, it's the worst. It's so bad. It's so hard." But it's because they didn't have the proper tools, knowledge, and resources. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the cons, it can be difficult. It definitely can, especially learning how to underwrite and spread a deal, how to size it to see if it cash flows, to see if it debt services. I mean, it could be a little bit challenging. So yeah, it can be.
Yeah.
It just depends, right?
Yeah, it's definitely not a get rich quick. So that's one thing I try to stress in all my videos because I know on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, whatever, we can make it seem very simple. And although it's doable, it is doable, it is possible, but it's not easy work. Just like when you're seeing the football player, the basketball player, when you're seeing, Kobe, Jordan, when you're seeing them bounce a ball, dribble a ball, make it in the hoop, it looks super simple. And you're like, hey, I can be a basketball player, and then you shoot the ball and it like doesn't even hit the board or like it doesn't even go in the net. Now, next question is how important are bank relationships to commercial lending, and how does one even go about finding them?
So it's in my course.
That's the that's
So
the
join my
that's
course
the
and find out.
uh-huh.
CRE Capital Finders, you'll find everything. It's important because building the relationships with these lenders, they're gonna make the deal move, right? They're either gonna decline it or they're gonna approve it. So you want to build those relationships. You want to, of course, paint the picture to the underwriter, make sure that you are fully describing everything that's happening within the scenario. You want to make sure that you already know and kind of vetted the client, right? To see what type of borrower they are. And then also, of course, that you're taking it to the right lenders, right? Because
That's
a
right.
lot of the times I see people go through lenders for different deals when the lenders don't even like those type of assets. For
Yeah.
example, I've seen people waste their time taking their taking their loan to to like a Wells Fargo or a Bank of America, where it's like a retail shopping center that has cannabis. They're not going to finance that. There's a cannabis tenant in there. It doesn't matter if that's not the owner's
Yeah.
business. The point is that it's cannabis. There's cannabis in there. It doesn't matter if the rest of them are fine, but that's just not going to go through. Or a gas station, right? A lot of lenders don't like gas stations. It's
Oh, I
considered a
didn't know that.
special purpose. Entertainment, same thing. So you just have to understand what lenders like what type of assets and exactly where to take it, so you don't waste anybody's time. So
Yeah.
building relationships is very important. Absolutely.
If I didn't go through the course and I wanted to become a commercial broker, I would just kind of have to like scout them out for myself, which is going to be, take hours and hours because they're not as common as
Not hours and hours, months and years.
months and years, right? And conversations and like people liking me and all that good stuff. Whereas on the residential space, like for example, if you were to become a residential loan officer, join our company, Equity Smart, you would instantly have access to those. Whereas on the commercial, it's relationship based, it's connections, it's having like special access to it. It's not going to be handed to you. You got to go out and get it, or you got to connect with someone that's going to help you in showing you the way, like Rachel, because that's definitely one thing that's way different. I mean, you guys are going to see if you guys have been in the residential side for a while. Let's say someone comes to me, hey, Enrique, I got a commercial deal. I only know one person, that's Rachel. Whereas a real estate agent, they get a buyer, they got 50 residential loan officers that they know about. How many commercial? Probably just one, or sometimes even zero. Like sometimes you're like literally have to like make the effort to look for someone that even does commercial. So if that's
Yeah.
yourself, like you really put yourself, in a strong position. Last question here. What are the 3 tips of advice you have for someone looking to become a commercial broker? Let's say they're just brand new, they just started, and they don't know where to go, what to do, or like the tips and tricks and so forth. What would you recommend? Or what would you do if you were brand new? What are
I
3
was
things that,
about to say, if I was brand new and barely starting off, honestly, the first thing I would do is find a mentor. Find somebody that's doing what I want to do. Find somebody that's having the success with what I want to do and that ultimately fits my life, my lifestyle, and what I want to do, right? Like for me, flexibility was very important. Having the corporate background, it was it was very tough for me because I'm the type of person that I don't like people telling me what to do, what time I have to come in, what time I have to be out, how many calls I have to make, who I have to visit, how many deals I have to close. And so now as a business owner, I get to control my own income and my own time. And honestly, I get to do it from anywhere. I travel the world. I'm vacationing every single month, but I take my laptop with me. So as long as I have Wi-Fi, and as long as, I have my laptop with me, I can close deals. And
yeah.
for those of you that follow me on social media, on Instagram, I open escrows in the Bahamas and I close escrows while I'm in Colombia, and I'm
Wow.
living my best life while I'm able to do it from anywhere around the world. And that's what I love most about being a commercial loan broker. Half of the clients, I've never even met them in person. It's just literally you being a broker, acting as the middle person, like a consultant, like, okay, here's the client. here's the scenario. Let me match you to the right lender that's going to be the best fit. And you simply make a commission off of putting them together, like matching them, like a consultant. So
Yeah.
being able to do it from anywhere and being able to close as many deals or as many little deals as you'd like is the beauty in it, right? I can do as much as I'd like and I can do as little as I'd like. It's just really up to me
Hmm.
to do, to do the deals. So I absolutely love it. And honestly, if I can change, I wouldn't change anything besides that having the right mentor right away, because they will take you through their roadmap and they will teach you all of the shortcuts so you don't have to go through the trial and errors, which is what I went through. It took me years to build out my pipeline because being a direct lender to being a broker, it's night and day. It's
Oh
different.
yeah.
And
Huge.
having that security blanket, that like what do you call it, that paycheck every single 2 weeks or every month, to having nothing and starting all over, it's literally, I mean, it's tough. It's a sink or swim situation. So it's a matter of what are you going to do. So I had to go through all those trials and errors to get to where I am today. It took a lot of sacrifice, a lot of work, a lot of a lot of knowledge, a lot of education for me to get to where I am today. So it didn't come from night to day. So it's a matter of getting the right mentors, getting in the right rooms and talking to the right people and really connecting with them and having them teach you what they went through so you don't have to go through that. So it's honestly your shortcut to success, having the
Yeah.
right mentors.
Awesome. So that's pretty much it. That's all the questions I have. Is there anything you want to add or mention specifically about your course or any other tips that you want to share, information you want to share with people that we didn't cover here?
What I can say is if you guys are interested in learning about commercial, like I said, take the leap of faith, educate yourself. Although it may seem hard in the beginning, keep going. You're gonna face a lot of challenges, but at the end of the day, once you just don't give up, and when you do that, when you keep going, the fruits of the labor are incredible.
Yeah.
It's very rewarding. So what I would suggest is get a mentor, get that shortcut, and just get on your way to success and start getting these bigger commissions. I'm happy to help you guys if you have any questions. Like I said, follow me on Instagram, CRE_capital. Send me a message. Let me know that you found us on YouTube, on Enrique's YouTube video, and I'm happy to set up a call, book a strategy call to see how we can help you guys out. Make sure that you check out our course. Enrique is gonna put a link so you guys can get special pricing as well to make sure that you guys are getting the knowledge, the tools, and the resources that you need. In that educational program, you guys get to talk to me live every single week so I can help you guys through your journey. And then also we have a community that's part of the that's also part of the program where you also get to interact with other like-minded individuals. So I highly suggest for you guys to start getting in the right rooms, start working on yourself, because you're always going to get a return on your investment when you invest in yourself.
That's right. And guys, back to when we were talking about commissions, just one deal can be easily 30 to like $120,000. So that commission's waiting for you. I know myself, when I was in the direct lending space, I made the jump because in 1 month from being a direct lender and not being a broker, and this is a little bit different in that it was residential, but just to give you guys, the concept, in 1 month, I lost maybe like $70,000 because I didn't have access to the programs. So if you yourself are thinking about jumping into the commercial space, whether you're not a loan officer at all, or maybe you're a new loan officer in the residential space and you're thinking about it, one, you don't want to have that agent be like, hey, I have a commercial deal, and then be like, I can't do it, so because that could be like an extra $50,000 in your pocket. So make sure you guys reach out to Rachel. I'll have her information down below, the special offer, her social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, all that good stuff. Also, feel free to reach out to me for any questions. And on the residential side. If you guys are looking to jump into the residential space, I'll help you guys out with that. And let me know if if you guys have any other questions that we didn't go over, and we can do another presentation in the future covering those. And that's pretty much it, you guys. Thank you, and I'll see you for the next one.
Thank you.